I wasn't born Richard Alpert. I was just born as a human being. And then I learned this whole business of who I am and whether I'm good or bad or achieving or not. All that's learned along the way. And you see all those learned things separate. So you start to have this dissociative experience of where all that you become is a point of awareness. That's all that's left. I remember the first time this happened to me, I got this terrible panic because indeed I was going to cease to exist.
I live in Egypt, and the last 3 years H&M and Mango and Zara and all these big stores have opened, and although they cost a lot, just everyone wants to go and shop there, and so no one really thinks of like the consequences of buying clothes from there, and there is no awareness of how the clothes was done and in which countries. I mean, I had heard before, oh yeah, H&M, Bangladesh, I'd made some associations, but you know, the awareness is not there.
Like the point in the fashion industry is to make people happy, but the people working at the factories aren't happy, so it's kind of redundant.
I didn't know how many countries this clothing can go through, and it only say made in Indonesia. You think, okay, that's bad enough, but really it's a lot worse.
There are no more textile factories in Spain. We have all our clothes are made in Asia. That's the problem because people in Spain is losing their jobs, people in Asia are gaining jobs, but which they are not treated like with their dignity they deserve.
Because I don't like, you know, brands taking all the money. I think that's one of the, you know, the biggest problems with the fashion. They pay very little for the cheap labor that they get. I mean, they're making such a big and enormous amount of profit, and they don't care that, you know, people are working like enormous hours, wasting their lives on overtime just to get like a scrap to eat or to survive the next day.
Make more clothes locally, you know, try going for companies that make their clothes where you actually know where it's coming from instead of spending 12 different countries just to make one pair of clothes. And try to appreciate that you have one pair of jeans instead of just getting the one and wanting 12 more.
Maybe we should try vintage shopping or reusing our clothes or switching clothes with friends.
I guess that governments should like care more about what's going on in their countries, in their industry, because the thing is that they receive a lot of money on this kind of procedure, but they don't care about human rights, and I think it's
Take it off!
No!
Take it off!
No!
Take it off or you'll be fired.
Because I hurt my hand yesterday when I was working, but I haven't got my payment, so I can't buy any medicine.
If you would have worked more and slept less before you got this injury, you could have afforded medicine right now. See?
But I didn't
It's your
get
own
my
problem,
payment.
you're lazy.
Treatment is tomorrow. You must work faster and you must work right now.
Please let us have a break. We're so tired.
No, the shipment is tomorrow. Come on.
I have no pay.
We never get paid. What are we gonna do?
We have to leave the country.
You think we can?
Yes, I have a boat. We can get across the border.
Oh, there it is.
Set me free.
I was just born as a human being, and then I learned this whole business of who I am and whether I'm good or bad or achieving or not. All that's learned along the way.